Tuesday, and we've got Tech Tuesday lined up for you. This is Your Money Matters, and we speak about everything related to money, and we also talk about consumer tech. And today, I'd like to talk about devices that you would want to spend on that will help you to read more. And joining me to talk about the options that are currently available, I have with me Dhruv Bhutani, who's a tech expert. Dhruv, thanks as always for taking the time, and always a pleasure speaking with you. I was looking at Amazon recently and looking to buy a Kindle for my mum, and I found that it's not available. I was a little, taken aback by that, and it seems like it still is the case. It's not available. Is that supply disruption? And without the Kindle available, what would you pick?
There's actually quite a few options on the market, Alex. And it sort of depends on what kind of a reader are you. Are you a fiction reader? Are you somebody who enjoys, say, comic books? Or maybe you enjoy more of web-based content or magazines? And, I think the purchasing decision and the budget that you should allocate starts with identifying what kind of a reader you are. Like you mentioned, the Kindle is obviously the most popular choice, but as it turns out, it's not really available in India right now. So if long form reading, fiction, non-fiction, that's what you lean towards, I would probably take a look at Kobo's range. Now, Kobo is owned by Rakuten, which is a Japanese company, and they have been making e-readers almost as long as Amazon. And they've got quite a few models. They have the black and white models, which are very similar to the Kindles, and they start at around 10 to 11,000 rupees. But then they also have color ink models, which give you the added benefit of, let's say, color book covers. You can also read comic books on them. And those are priced starting at around 15 to 16,000 rupees. Stepping up to the 20,000 rupee model, you even get stylus input, so you can take notes in your books, you can scribble notes, and it's a nice compromise between, or like I would say, like a middle ground between a full-fledged tablet and an ebook reader. So that's where I would start looking at options.
But then the question arises, the reason why the Kindle is so popular and has been so popular is the ecosystem and the availability of books on Amazon, the seamless experience of buying books and having it available to you on the Kindle. But with that not available, and you're saying the Kobo is something that you can consider as an alternative, do you have a similar availability of books?
Well, that's the problem and the good thing about ecosystems. They kind of hook you in. So if you have already invested in picking up hundreds, maybe thousands of ebooks from Amazon, your only real option there is to sort of download them and get rid of the encryption, which is a bit of a gray area. The Kobo, on the other hand, does have its own ebook store. It also ties up with the ebook stores that offer DRM-free books. So you can buy the book and you can copy the ebook file to whatever device that you want. In fact, there's a growing movement amongst publishers as well to offer DRM-free copies, though it's not the most commonplace thing as of this moment. So to answer your question, though, Kobo does have its equivalent ebook store, but if you've already spent a lot on Amazon, you cannot bring those books to the Kobo ecosystem.
So therefore, one would assume that kind of like what you saw with the PlayStation 5 launch way back when, I think during the COVID-19 pandemic, when Sony was prioritizing certain markets to sell their product. I guess Amazon is doing something similar with the Kindle, and if you have the opportunity to either visit those markets, I'm guessing it's the US and Europe, or you have somebody visiting, then that is an option for the Kindle. But beyond the Kobo and the Kindle, what else stands out? And I'm guessing you're going to head towards the tablet options.
Indeed. So tablets, and also at the higher end of the spectrum, there are a few e-ink based devices, though I would classify them as devices that also function as ebook readers. They're too big to have reading as their primary use case. But yeah, I mean, if you want to look at the Android side of things, the OnePlus Pad that starts at around 18,000 rupees. So actually, like somewhere around the same price category as more premium Kindle devices. And they also have the advantage that you can load the Amazon Kindle app. So if you're running an Android tablet or even an iPad for that matter, but we'll come to that, you can still still read the same ebooks that you purchased from Amazon store. Now the experience might not be quite as good as reading on an actual e-ink reader because of the backlighting and the glare, but it does serve in a pinch, and some people do prefer the more responsive interface of a tablet. So the OnePlus Pad Go, which is around 18,000 rupees, is where I would start looking at options. And then you've got the iPads of the world, of course, and those start at around 35,000 rupees, depending on how powerful a device that you want. But if you are just looking for a reading experience, for the most part, the 35,000 rupee iPad, the entry level iPad, is more than sufficient for that. It has a great screen. You can also pick up a stylus if you want for scribbling notes, and it will run Amazon's Kindle app as well. So you still have access to the entire ebook library from Amazon, while also having the ease of access of reading web content or even ebooks from other sources. In fact, Apple has its own ebook store of sorts as well, and they've got the iBooks app on the iPad. So it opens up a lot of options for you. Now, at the absolute top end of the spectrum, then you've got devices like the Remarkable tablet. And it is more geared towards taking notes and less towards just reading long form, because the tablet the screen size is over 10 inches, so it is certainly on the larger side. But that is another option that you can look at. Similar to the Remarkable, there are a few other Chinese alternatives on the market, and since those run Android, you can sideload the Kindle app on them. But again, these are not necessarily designed for reading first. They're more designed towards being a digital notepad replacement, and the screen sizes kind of reflect that.
And aren't they a little too expensive, Dhruv, for the functionality you are talking about?
Indeed, like the Remarkable is around 55,000 rupees, and then once you tack on the accessories, that gets even more expensive. It's not, like I said, it's not really supposed to be an e-ink reader replacement. The low latency technology behind it does cost a fair bit because it's also pretty unique. If you look at other e-ink readers, like the Kobo e-book reader that I talked about with a stylus, there is a noticeable amount of latency, and solving that challenge definitely adds to the cost.
And by latency, you mean the slowness of the turning of a page or the loading of an ebook, simply that, right?
No. So, like I said, the Remarkable is more geared towards taking notes.
Okay.
And that's not just with typing, but also with the stylus.
Okay.
And because of the way e-ink technology works, when you load a page, it stops consuming any power. The power consumption is only when you change a page. By the way that this technology works, when you're using a stylus, unlike an iPad, there is a noticeable amount of delay between you inputting something on the screen and it registering on the screen.
Okay.
So the Remarkable uses some interesting technology to solve this problem, but that's where the cost of solving that problem comes in, which is why it's so expensive.
Yeah, fair point. And I don't think that it's meant as you pointed out, as an e-reader in the first place. It may also solve for that. But Dhruv, it's been a fascinating conversation, and thanks so much as always for joining me.
Of course.
All right, that brings us to the end of this edition of Your Money Matters. Thanks so much for watching. This is NDTV Profit.